Hello, and thank you for listening. My name is Luke Mardigian, and you are listening to Be Insured, where we talk about business, leadership, and insurance. That way, on your worst day when you need it the most, you will be insured. The holiday season is here, and I think we could all use a little joy, right? A little peace. Eric's wearing his Christmas business suit. Is that a thing? Christmas business suit? It's no secret this year has been challenging, right? 2020 has been a tough one, but it feels nice to get lost in familiar traditions and feel a sense of groundedness in the midst of uncertainty. As you do your holiday shopping, as we all ramp up to maybe spend money if you're willing to work right now or if you're able to work right now, I wanted to use this episode to talk about the one gift I want you to consider blessing your family with. And I'd even argue it's the most important one you can give your family. It's the good gift that keeps on giving. As always, I'm also joined by my awesome co-host,
Eric Gestring, the Mardigian Agency.
So what's this special gift?
Wow.
It's actually peace of mind.
It's that special gift of peace of mind.
We have so much uncertainty in this world. There is so much risk.
Tomorrow's never promised.
Real.
Especially with a killer virus on the loose.
Well, yeah, right. And whether you're at risk or not from that, right? Like either you might have the immune system of Superman and you might not, but either way, there's a risk, right? And we don't know what that risk is. We only know what we're being told. And so how do our world, insurance, the definition of insurance is risk management. And so as insurance agents, we want to help you manage your risk.
For peace of mind.
Right. Because if you have risk and it's unknown, dude, unknown is like the scariest thing in the world, right?
Yeah.
There's so many people who would never do what you did as a rescue swimmer, Eric, right? Because you literally are jumping into the unknown.
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of it though, you know?
Right.
But as you said, the peace of mind part. So there's so much unexpectedness in this world. Even if you don't do a dangerous job, walking across the street, driving to work, all these things can be.
Waking up is dangerous sometimes, right? You might wake up and get lightheaded and fall. I don't know.
Step on one of your kids' toys and.
Well, the thing is, none of us really want to consider the fact that we are going to die, but reality is
10 out of 10 of us are going to die.
10 out of 10 is, so we can throw out COVID stats all day, but I don't know when it's going to be. You don't know when it's going to be, but 10 out of 10 people die. We're all going to die one day. Yep. And so it's not about, we could go into some philosophical rant about it's not how you die, it's how you live.
Yeah.
But we're not going to do that. We're just going to talk about what you leave behind.
So why do we view life insurance as a gift?
Because it gives peace of mind.
But what else?
It gives options.
I like that. Let's get into that a little bit.
Well, let's go back to risk management, right?
Okay.
So what's your risk every day is you might walk out the door, you might grab the wrong door handle, itch your nose, you got COVID-19, and you're gone 2 days later. Dear friend and coworker of several of my friends and clients, Billy Darnell was a great man, DeWitt Township police officer here in Michigan, and that's what happened to him. And there's no way he could have known that day that just showing up to work was going to lead to him passing away from a virus. But it happened, and in his family's world, it's 100%. It's not 0.026% or whatever, however many people actually die from COVID. It's 100% to them.
Yep.
And to your family, if it's you, it's 100% of the time. That's the risk, right? So if it's you, it's 100% of the time. And if it's you, how are you going to mitigate that risk, right? So there's things we can't control on the front end, like diet and zinc and washing our hands and whatever else you want to do to try to, avoid, getting this virus. And then there's the stuff that you can do if you do get it and mitigating the risk on the back end, right? With healthcare and our healthcare system and all the things that we're doing as a society, right?
Yeah.
But you still can't control 100% of the risk. There's only a few things you can do with risk, right? You can eliminate risk, which would be like...
Don't do that.
Yeah, you just don't do it, right? Like, hey, you'll never crash your motorcycle if you don't ride it.
You can live in your basement.
Right. And then there's risk elimination. That's avoidance, right? You just avoid it completely. There's retaining risk, which means that you're okay with whatever the risk is and you're willing to just take it on the chin regardless of what happens to you. And then there's transference of risk. Insurance is one of the transfer of risk pieces, right? So, when it comes to risk and managing risk, you could avoid it. Just stay in your basement. I mean, maybe you still, I don't know, you got to eat food and stuff, right? I mean, it still theoretically could get to you. I don't know how that works. And I don't think anybody does.
You got to sanitize everything that gets shipped to your door.
You just wear like a hazmat suit everywhere you go, right?
Yeah, like you got to have a decontamination chamber.
Alien invaders and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you could do that, I guess. I guess that's a thing, right? You could just, what a lot of people are doing is just whatever, just retain the risk. Look, if I get it, I get it. It is what it is. And that's why we live in America, and you can do that. And that may have untold consequences. Who knows? Or you could transfer some of that risk, right? Which is, basically doing the things like I'm going to work virtually. I'm going to make sure that, I'm going to transfer the risk of getting it from the things I do every day to the things I'm just going to limit, right? I'm going to transfer some of that risk. Well, you can also transfer some of it through insurance. And so how does that work? Well, one of the things that we used day one, the government was telling us to use it, was unemployment. Mm-hmm. Unemployment's a form of insurance. Did you know that, Eric?
No, tell me more. Yeah,
I don't hear anybody complaining about their employers having to pay for unemployment insurance, even though it's like a lot of their check. Like you could get a 8% raise if they didn't have to pay unemployment insurance on your behalf. But everybody was real happy to get it when they got it, right?
Yep.
Everybody hates insurance until they have to use it.
Nobody wanted to go back to work.
Well, yeah, that's a societal issue. We're going to leave that one to political pundits. But unemployment's an insurance. So we transferred some of that risk of, gosh, what if I get sick and I get COVID and I can't work, right? I got to be out of work for 14 days. Well, there's unemployment. There's insurance there for that. Well, what if I go to the hospital? What then? Well, guess what? There's insurance for that too. It's called indemnity insurance. It's called health insurance, right? Some of this stuff is being picked up by the federal government. Apparently, I don't know how that works right now. That's not my forte is not health insurance. That's COVID related. But regardless of the cause of the illness, you have things like chronic illness policies, terminal illness policies, chronic injury policies, hospital indemnity policies, accident indemnity policies. And these policies literally pay a cash lump sum to you. The classic one was Aflac, right?
I was just going to
now there's a couple of hundred in the marketplace, and they're all pretty good. I mean, it's just a matter of what you're trying to insure against and what you think is most likely. If you have kids, maybe you want more accident indemnity because your kids are going to do stupid stuff like jump on trampolines and jump out of trees and ride their bike up ramps and crazy stuff like that, right? Or what did my boys just do? Yeah, he's riding a scooter at the skate park and just bit it super hard, right? So accident indemnity. But if you're worried about getting hospitalized and losing income because you're in the hospital for a month, there's a hospital indemnity policy. They'll pay you every day you're in the hospital. Did you know that?
Yep.
Would that give you some peace of mind of knowing, gosh, I got to go to the hospital because I got COVID, but I got a nice check showing up when I get out?
Yep.
That'd make me feel a little better.
I think it'd make anybody feel better.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? And then the worst risk, right? The greatest risk we have as human beings is doing something that would cause us to die. Right. So we know about it in car accidents, right? We have, several hundred people die every year in the state of Michigan in car accidents, and untold thousands more who should have died probably, not for modern medicine. And so we have health insurance built into our car insurance policies, but
nominal.
Yeah. Well, no, the medical is,
the medical.
Hopefully you keep the unlimited option. Don't take the opt out. Don't listen to all the marketing. Don't take the opt out. Just keep unlimited. But for life insurance, you might get $3,000, $5,000 from that if you die in a car accident. Now let's talk about COVID. What is the federal government or the state government going to show up and do for your family when you die from COVID-19?
Nothing.
Nada. Nothing.
They're not going to replace that income that family member was bringing. They're not going to pay for a funeral.
But Eric, I got insurance at work. I'm fine. I'm all set.
Well, my dad had insurance through work. I know a lot of people that do, but my dad died of cancer, so he was out of work for, we'll say, 6 months almost. It was like 5 months getting treatment for his cancer. By the time he passed and lost that battle with cancer, he was deemed non-employed by the company, and the life insurance policy was null and void.
So if you got fear about COVID-19, you're afraid that you might go out and get it and you might die, or your spouse is afraid, or your kids, Daddy, do you have to go to work today? I don't want you dying from this virus. peace of mind that you can give them is very, very simple and very, very inexpensive. You term life insurance. That's it. Because at work, man, you have to hope that you die.
And then what if you can't pay your insurance premium because you're not working, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a disability waiver that we throw on all our life policies if you're eligible, and that pays your premiums while you're disabled, right? So your worst case scenario to me, honestly, isn't the dying quick from COVID, although that's terrible. It's a tragedy and that you leave your family in a really tough financial position. I think the greatest tragedy would be getting sick and not dying for a while, being on a breathing machine or something. And then, your work's going to deem you constructively unemployed. It's if you don't show up after a while, it's the same as quitting.
Yep.
So you get your FMLA and that's it. After that, or you don't show up again, then you're basically saying, look, I quit. I'm not going to come back. It doesn't matter the reason why you're not coming back. Let's
talk about all these misconceptions about life insurance, or the fears that people have. The biggest ones that we hear is, I can't afford it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? No, the biggest misconception is, I don't need it.
100%. Everybody needs it.
Because everyone's going to die, right? Well, not everybody. I mean, I don't know if Jeff Bezos needs life insurance.
Right.
Right? How many Jeff Bezos are listening right now? Anybody on Amazon?
Probably no one.
If that's not you probably need life insurance.
If you're listening, Jeff.
If your last name isn't DeVos, you probably need life insurance. Okay? If you don't own the Red Wings, you probably need life insurance. For your average middle Americans, right? Even if your net worth is over a couple $1 million, you're not going to get money to leave onto your family any cheaper. It's pennies on the dollar.
Well, I think the biggest tragedy we have is that society makes people think that as young people, they don't have a need for life insurance. And I think being a younger...
No, I don't think that's true. I think as society, they teach young kids they're never going to die. When you poll millennials and Gen Zers, they say they have no fear of dying anytime soon.
And that's
until
a pandemic comes.
A pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Now everybody's afraid of dying.
Yep.
So this holiday season, what a wonderful gift to give to your family, the peace of mind of knowing, gosh, if it does happen to you, because you can't control it, you don't know when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen. We don't even know how this thing really transfers between people. There's tons of theories and the numbers don't make sense. And there's studies that contradict each other, and the government's saying one thing and doctors are saying another. And this doctor is saying something different than that doctor. And they're all experts. So you can control what you can control. Right? So first is your health. You got to take the zinc. You got to take the folic acid. You got to take some vitamin C, right? You got to get some good sleep, get some nutrition, get some exercise, eat some healthy foods. McDonald's sales up 40% across the nation during this pandemic. That's not going to help you not get the virus. So control what you can't control. And then get a hospital indemnity policy. Super cheap. We're talking like 10, 15, like 40, 50 bucks tops to cover an entire family. Hospital indemnity policy. You go to the hospital for COVID, they cut a check to you for every day you're in. Come on. And then, God forbid, you're gone. What a great way to give peace of mind to your family that during the holidays, if they lose you, Christmas isn't going to be the saddest day. They're going to celebrate because they're going to be just fine for the rest of their life. Because you know what? Every Christmas, my dad passed away. Every Christmas, we tell stories about him in the house that his life insurance paid for, that my mom is still in today, 15 years later.
And wouldn't it be such a perfect thing to have an agency that you can go to and they'll present options for you and make it easy to figure out what you need?
No. They just got to save money, man. 15% in 15 minutes. Don't waste my time with all that options and advice.
No, but on a real note, I think that you guys need to, everybody listening, reach out to us so that we can help you have that peace of mind.
Yeah. On Facebook and Instagram, the Mardigian Agency. Reality is if your insurance agent is only talking to you about saving money during the holidays, then I'm not sure if he really cares about you and your family. Because if saving $15 a month is what gives peace to your family, then you must have some really, really, really small problems in your world that other people aren't facing. Because most people today, they have real big problems and they're afraid of dying and they're afraid of going to the hospital and they're afraid of getting sick and leaving their family alone. And there's only one way to provide some level of peace on that, because you can't control when you get it, whether you get it, how it affects you, whether you're in the hospital, how long you're in the hospital, whether you die from it. You can't control any of that. You can only control what you leave behind, and whether it's chaos or whether it's peace. Because you know what? There's nothing, absolutely nothing more powerful than the look in a woman's eyes whose husband passed away and left her life insurance, because she knows she's going to be
Okay.
She didn't have to go to farmersonly.com and find somebody tomorrow. She can be okay and she can move on and life will be good. So, man, this holiday season, take care of your family. Give them the peace of mind that they deserve. As always, you can connect with us on at the Mardigian Agency on Facebook and Instagram. And, man, I can't tell you enough. Enjoy this holiday season because 2021 is going to be a great year. We've overcome so much in 2020. We've rebuilt the foundations and hug that family, hold them tight, and enjoy this holiday season. Thanks, and we'll see you next time on Be Insured.